Now. Thank you, sir. A very good morning to one and all. Respected principal, sir, correspondent, ma'am, today's speaker, Dr. Prabhakaran, sir, and all the delegates. Myself, D. Lavanya, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, and I am privileged to host this today's session. It gives me immense pleasure to extend you a warm welcome on behalf of Seven Hills College of Pharmacy, who clubbed all of us for the live webinar on science of COVID-19 and changing nutritional dynamics. I'd like to thank all the delegates for taking their time out and being here today. Without further ado, before moving on to the session, though the technology is in fast pace, we cannot ignore our tradition. To make this event a blissful event, let us all invoke God by virtual lamp lightning. In my view, light fades away the darkness and symbolizes knowledge and wisdom. So, in order to have the brightness in our lives, let us have the virtual lamp lightning now. Education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change with blessings of Lord Balaji. Seven Hills College of Pharmacy was established in the year 2007 as an institution exclusively specialized in pharmacy education by Global Vision Educational and Welfare Society. The college has been carefully launched and nurtured by its founder and visionaries, Sri M. Venkatramaraj Garu and Dr. M. Niranjan Babu Garu, with a vision of quality education and knowledge. It is a one-step solution for pharmacy education. To its crown, to its crown, it has been feathered with various recognitions and accreditations. College was recognized by UGC, AICT, and affiliated to JNTU Anantapur. It was accredited by NAC A grade and NBA for UG program. As a key feature, it has been ranked in All India Swachh Campus and NIRF. Presently, the college is offering the courses like B Pharmacy, a 4-year course with an intake of 100 seats, PharmD, a 6 year course with an intake of 30 seats, PharmD Post Baccalaureate, a 3-year course with 10 seats of intake, and M Pharmacy with the departments like Pharmaceutical Analysis, Pharmaceutics, Pharmacology with an intake of 15 per department. And in this year, we are also offering PhD in Pharmaceutical Sciences. Education is not only about learning books, it's about the social activities and the achievements also. Yearly, we are adding on the positions like college journal, newsletter, drug information center, and many more. We can proudly say that the percentage of students are leaving our college with their offer letters. We are collaborating with various patents like Divis, Cronus Lab, Bayer Private Limited, Microlabs, Omega Healthcare, and many more for students' benefit. Apart from this book knowledge, we are inculcating the students with the social welfare point of views and activities of students in association with our NSS unit by providing sophisticated infrastructure and high-end facilities. At the outset, I am proud to be the part of this institution. Now, I request our beloved principal sir, Dr. M. Niranjan Babu Garu, the man behind our success and a torchbearer of this institution, to give his opening remarks. So please, sir.
Om Namo Venkateshaya. Namaste. Good morning. I feel honored to welcome the speaker of the day, Dr. Prabakaran Ravichandran Garu, Research Scientist of Biology, ITC Life Sciences and Technology Center, Bangalore. All the principals, teachers, my fellow colleagues, and my dear students taking a keen part in this important webinar program on Science of COVID-19 and Changing Nutritional Dynamics. I think this title will cover all the present situations. World Health Organization carefully monitors emerging evidence about this critical stage of COVID-19. Good nutrition enhances immunity and keeps us healthy. I would like to suggest some steps to limit coronavirus exposure. Always clean your hands often. Avoid close contact. Stay home if you are sick. Cover coughs and sneezes. Wear a mask in public. I want to share with you some of the important thoughts to start of the day. If you stay positive in negative situation, you will win the situation. And second one, don't tell people your plans. Show them your results. I'll repeat once again. Don't tell people your plans. Show them your results. I'm sure that you will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this webinar. I welcome you all once again to the webinar, and I hope that you will have a great time ahead. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And we are fortunate enough to be under your visionary guidance and support, sir. Well, we all know about the current situation, right? This is the pandemic situation which is controlling the whole world, actually. That is nothing but the novel coronavirus, which is spreading rapidly. I can say one way the reason for this modern virtual learning is the same thing. That is because of this virus and the pandemic situation, we are having such type of virtual learning also. Today, we are having with us our expert speaker, Dr. Prabakaran Ravichandran Garu, to give a clear insights of COVID-19 and the changing scenario. Now, may I request my senior fellow colleague, Mr. Satish Kumar sir, to brief about today's speaker. Sir, please.
Respected Principal Sir, Director Sir, delegates, my colleagues and the participants. Good morning to one and all. Myself, Satish Kumar Ji, working as a faculty in Seven Hills College of Pharmacy. It's my privilege to introduce the speaker for today's webinar hosting by Seven Hills College of Pharmacy. Dr. Prabakaran Ravichandran Sir is currently working as a research scientist in ITC Life Sciences and Technology Center, Bangalore. He is an accomplished scientist, experienced with in vitro and in vivo experimental design and assay development for disease modeling and biocompatibility studies. He has completed his master's from Dr. G. Adi Damodaran College, Coimbatore, and he has completed his doctorate from Norfolk State University, US, for his novel method to counteract the toxicity of multi-wall carbon nanotubes through non-covalent functionalization. Apart from that, he has gained a lot of experiences by working as senior lecturer at International University College Technology, Twin Tech, Malaysia, and as a postdoctoral scientist at Johns Hopkins University, Maryland, US. Sir has published in several reputed international journals and having 15 patents. He has received various awards such as Honorary Research Award at Old Dominion University and also at Norfolk State University, US. So it is the precious time to welcome Sir and hand over the session to our honorable speaker. Thank you one and all, and thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And we are glad to have such an eminent person with us today. I'm honored to hand over the session to Dr. Prabhakaran, sir, to share his views on this pandemic virus. So please, is it audible, sir?
Yes, it's audible. Am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning,
Yeah.
everyone. So it is actually a new
Good
COVID
morning.
session. So actually, I'm very much privileged for inviting me for this, and then I'm very much happy to talk most of you people, and then thank the principal, and then my friend Sadesh, and then the person who's doing Miss Lavanya. So I'm very much happy. It is like it's a privilege to meeting one and all here, and then it's a new experience also. So today, like the buzzword is like COVID-19. So being a pharmacy students and then basically a science students, what is much required. So today's I'm going to touch. I thought that like it is a COVID-19 science. So I'm going to touch some of the basic science and then important what is to understand, and then the nutrition. Since I think most of us must have understood that. So only thing is right now the prevention is the only way we can protect ourselves from COVID-19. So the can I have the slides, please? Yeah, the next slides we can go. Yes. So today what I'm going to do, the outline about is I'm going to talk a little bit about the etiology and then the science. Here I'm going to talk about the molecular biology of the COVID-19, and then very important, what is our understanding till now about its transmission. Very important because everywhere COVID, every day it is alarming. The number of positive is increasing day by day, and then even all parts of our scientists are trying to understand how we can stop, and then even our governments are doing their excellent job in order to stopping and then protecting ourselves. And then but actually I personally feel that being a science people, we will be having a different point of view about this COVID-19, and then a little bit about how it can enter pathogenesis, and then how it can be prevented, and then prevention in the sense that we can I'm going to talk more about the nutrition point of view. So that is the only weapon right now we are having, how we can protect ourselves, and then how we are going to keep our immune system equipped with all the necessary nutrients. That is what actually I'm going to give a small checklist to protect ourselves until we are going to get the vaccines ready. So next slide one, please. So you can see that this COVID-19, it is not a new one. Actually, the COVID CO, it is stands for corona, VI stands for virus, and then D disease. So which has been discovered in the year 2019. That is actually the uh, reason behind the naming COVID-19. So actually, it belongs to a very old known virus, that is an RNA virus. It is positively strand virus which belongs to beta coronavirus. So usually this family of virus will be round or elliptic in shape, and then usually it will be like 60 to 140 nanometer. It is very tiny. It is RNA virus, and then it has been this actually the COVID-19 is new, but the family of virus is not new, because we know that influenza virus, which has created a pandemic in the year 1918, that also belongs to the same family. And then in 2002, there is another virus called SARS that is also belongs to the same family. So worldwide, around like 770 people were infected and died because of that, but not much, because we know how to prevent them, and then we have protected ourselves. And then followed by in 2012 there is a Middle East respiratory syndrome that is also came. And then you can see on your right side, that is a picture of the COVID-19 which was first published under scanning electron microscope. It was very it is like almost like a round elliptical in shape. It is an excellent picture, first time when the scientist published this one. So actually, next one, next slide, please. So it is not doing much when compared to the thing, except the pathogenesis. So we know that all the virus will enter our body. This particular COVID-19, till now what we know, what as a scientist, what we know, it can enter only through nose. Even it can enter through mouth. I will explain you why the SARS, that is especially the COVID-19, cannot enter through mouth, but actually I'll tell you why it can enter only through nose, not even through eyes. And then once it enter through the nose, it will be keep on floating inside our body until it reaches our lungs. That is the first target point where it can enter. So once it reaches the lungs, it will not infect any of your throat region. You will not get any cold or any sore throat when you get a COVID-19. It is not like an other influenza virus. I'll tell you why. So once it enters the lungs, it can go and bind to the lung cells and then enter into the cells. Once it enter the cells, actually it can um, start replicating, and then once it start producing the good number of viral particle, the lung cell will burst, and then it will enter into it will come out, and then it will infect all the other cells. So that is how the entire working of this COVID-19. I will explain you step by step, just like a story. Just imagine what will happen when the COVID-19 enters any one body. Okay, next slide, please. So actually, I'm going to say like slide number 1, 2. Even in the picture, I haven't mentioned it. It is on your left side. It is your picture number 1. Just imagine the virus has entered your body. Okay, so we can know that the surface of the virus will have large amount of surface protein. That surface protein, one important surface protein is ACE2 receptor. Okay, just we'll keep it very simple now to understand. So I'll explain you the full form in the next slides. So ACE2 receptor is the binding receptor. So that will go and bind to your lung cells, and then that is the receptor which will aid this virus entry into the lung cell. So first thing, the moment the virus enter our body, this binding protein, ACE2 binding protein, will look for a ACE2 receptor. The ACE2 receptor is present in your lung cells. Okay, so it is like surface protein which will go and bind to your receptor. So now once it enters, so hereafter the ACE2 protein, we can call it as a fusion machinery protein. So you can see that one in the second slide. So now the moment the virus touches the lung cell, the surface protein, that is a fusionary protein, which will go and bind to the membrane of your lungs. Once it binds to the membrane of the lungs, it will make a small opening, and then the whole virus will not enter, only the RNA, because the COVID-19 is RNA virus, the RNA plus the nuclear protein will be entering into your lungs. This is the first step. You can see that one in this slide number, the picture number 2. So the binding and then entry into your cell, this all will take within 10 minutes. That is the beauty, how fast it is acting. So we have no time to stop this entry, because there will not be any symptom also, will not have any symptom that virus has entered. So within 10 minutes, it can enter your lung cell. So next slide, please. So in the next slide, you can see the slide number 3. The moment it enters, it is an RNA virus. It is not depending on our, even though it depends upon our internal enzymes for their function, but the nuclear protein that is present in the virus, there are around 24 genes are present. 24 genes are present in the SARS virus genome. For what? Na? Those things produce only the RNA. That is, for example, mRNA, that is a polymerase enzyme. So why the polymerase enzyme? It is coding na, to replicate faster. So 24 genes are only available for replicating the polymerase enzyme, for replicating this particular RNA. More genomes will be produced. Once the more genome will be produced, and then the whole virus will be packed, it will hijack our lung cell endoplasmic reticulum for packing this virus, and then they can go out of the cell. So it is completely hijacking our cells, so to replicate more, and then it can burst out of the lung cell. You can see in the slide number, picture number 4, there are small vesicles that are budding out of the lung cells, so that it can go. So now only our body will realize there is some foreign particles, foreign material came inside, so that this one, it will take around 10 hours. That is from the entry for replication, bursting a single cell within 10 hours it takes. Just imagine the midnight. If you are infected by evening 6 o'clock, around like midnight 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock only, your body will realize that some virus particles has entered my body. Once it enter, that time only our cells will alarm our immune system. The first thing is our cytokines and then macrophages. So that is what it will happen first thing. So now can we go for next slide? So that is what I say, the immune system. So the first thing it will trigger is interferons. So interferon protein will go and tell our entire body somebody has entered our body, somebody has entered our cells, so that it will trigger your macrophages, and then B cells, T cells, everything will be activated. But actually what is happening now, this SARS, this our COVID-19 inhibit the protein that is called sensor protein. That sensor protein is the one which senses the entry of the antigen and then triggers our interferon. Our COVID-19, what it does, once it enter our cell, it goes and binds to the sensor protein and stops the immune system. So that is what we are calling it as asymptomatic people. So they will be harboring the virus, but they will not tell outside, because only the immunological reaction comes, then only the body will recognize something is there. There is not be any fever, it will be normal. So they are very clever virus. Next slide. And then one more thing, this immune system, for that it will take 3 days to trigger the immune system. If you want to have any immune system triggered, it will take 3 days, and then for immune system to react, it will take 11 days. That is the reason why our scientists and government are saying, if you feel that you are infected, you want to stay inside the home at least for 4 days. Now 14 days. Now you can understand why that 14 days, because first 3 hours is entry, and then 10 hours for replication. The next 3 days is your triggering your immune system, the next 14 days. So all together, so it will be around like 11 plus 4 that itself 11 plus 3 itself 14 days, and then plus 1 day. So 15 days is a quarantine time. If you recovered that time, so now your immune system has triggered, you are safe. Hope you guys can understand why that magic number 14 is we are talking everyone. The next slide, please. Sorry, same slide. So now virus countermeasure, as I told you. The next slide, yeah. So as I told you, you can see in the slide number 6, you can see the sensor protein. So the sensor protein is the one which will be inhibited by the virus, so that our immune system will not understand the entry of the virus. And then another machinery, what it does now, the spike protein. So that is actually the surface protein. So they camouflage just like a sugar molecule, so that inside the bloodstream it can just wave and then go, so that our antibody will think that okay, that is also another glycoprotein, so that the antibody will not go and bind. So even so, this is a very alarming. Even if I get a immunized next, so even if I get a secondary infection, my immune system is not going to recognize it, because the COVID-19 is having a machinery for surviving inside even against the antibody. So these are the points what we want to think the scientists are working on in order to make the vaccines. So as a pharmacy people or as a science people, we have a lot of work to do R&D to find only what to do against this COVID-19. Okay, next slide, please. Yes. So now you know that now the body has entered with the virus. So what are the problems? How does it can affect our body from top to bottom? It is not allowing, it is not even leaving any part. The first thing is hypothalamus. This is the normal one. Any virus or any bacteria enter, definitely the fever will come. So that is what actually will happen. So once the fever comes, so that will be affected by the hypothalamus. You can clearly see that you are the temperature will increase. That is the first effect will happen in your brain. The second one is the clotting. I think the slides has gone. Yes, it came back. So slide view. Yes. So now the next one is once it entered the lungs, because that is a huge problem, what others have not done. This COVID, once it entered the lung part, it goes and attacks your alveolar. So you know that alveolar is the region where it is involved in the exchange of oxygen. So it goes and colonize there and then disrupt your um, blood vessels that are involved in your gaseous exchange. So once it has been done, the oxygen supply is completely lost. So now I think the recent last 1 month we started talking about oxygen saturation level. So when the oxygen is cut, so our entire system is under shock. That is a huge problem. And then one more thing, what happens now, since there is a severe damage in the lungs, immediately our body responds in other way, so that the entire cytokines goes and blocks or infects the particular area. So because of the influx of the cytokines, there happens a clot. So actually the body get shocked. It is converting into a stroke. So it can be the stroke in your brain or it can be in your lungs. So the clot forms in your lung, so which cannot be reverted back. So actually the clot is formed not by the virus, it is our body action that is happening at that point, so that that particular rush has ruptured and then creating a clot. The next slide. So when it comes to our chest, so mostly the people are having the COVID, they'll have a coughing. So usually that is what happening will do. Even any pollution goes inside or any dirt, dust, definitely will expel our dirt outside. And then one more thing is, since our lungs is damaged, we will feel that there will be a shortness of breath, because it reduces our lung capacity. For example, we can inhale almost like 5 liters of air in one point of time. So just imagine like a balloon. So if there is any small hole, you will be keep on inhaling, nothing will happen. Your capacity goes back, goes bad. So that there will be shortness of breath. And the next thing is this virus particle will have another reaction called inflammation. So the entire body inflamed, so that the entire inflammation happened, so that our entire body and then especially the joints will have the pain. So these are the symptoms, or these are the things what our COVID-19 can do to our body. Next slide, please. So the next, if you come to our intestine, so the inflammation, as I told you, the inflammation will happen even in your intestine. Because of that, the diaphragm and then abnormal muscle will be completely inflamed, so that what will happen, there will not be any absorption of the nutrients will happen. This both will, what will do now, it will induce your vomiting as well as diarrhea. So this is also another symptom of your COVID-19. So since your inflammation, it will not allow any nutrition to absorb, it will trigger vomiting as well as your diarrhea. Next slide. So once it comes to our kidney, that is another target area where it will infect. So if you see that these organs, we know that the kidney is involved in filtering all the filtering the blood and balancing the chemicals and removing the waste from and then excess water as a urine. When the smallest vesicle and then the capillaries become inflamed, when the inflammation attack your kidney capillaries, this causes a spot and then rashes in the entire body, and then it also hampers you the function of your kidney. So that is actually another big issue. It is going on. So people have realized that the body response towards the COVID is causing a lot of issues, especially like inflammation. Next slide. So till now we are talking about the pathogenesis, what it can cause from top to bottom. So a little bit, I'm not going to go in details about all the genomic system. So, but actually I want to tell you one thing, how complex it is genomically. So it is an RNA virus. You can clearly see that the rhinovirus, which we know for longer time, it is only 8,000 bases long, whereas HIV, it is 10,000 bases long, whereas Zika virus, it is 13,000 kilobase long, and then Ebola virus, it is 20,000. That is the largest virus till now we know before COVID-19. But this COVID SARS-CoV-2, it is 30,000 genes, 30,000 bases long, very, very big virus till now what we have done. Since it is very big, what is the problem now? And then you must have heard that the virus will get mutated. So that is how we survived from influenza virus. Since the genome is very big here, that is more than 20,000, they have another enzyme called exon. This exon enzyme is the one which is involving in the proofreading. Okay, so proofreading means this RNA virus, definitely they can undergo lot of mutation. This exon enzymes will remove all the mutation in the viral genome. Once the virus that is devoid of any mutation, only those virus will be packed and then it will be released out of the cell. So that is the only one point I want to highlight with respect to your genome of the COVID-19, because people are studying, lot of studies are going on across the world, and then we every day something or other new. But actually, like for our understanding, I think to understand the actual importance or criticality that is happening in the world right now. So this exon enzyme will tell you how complex this virus is, right? Next slide. There's a small video. You can run that video. So this will explain you how it enters, how it goes and colonize your body. So this is a very good video. You can understand till now whatever I taught. You can see everything in the video in a nutshell. Once we understand, we will talk about more of prevention and then nutrition. Yes.
This is SARS-CoV-2. It belongs to the family of coronaviruses named for the crown-like spikes on their surfaces. SARS-CoV-2 can cause COVID-19, a contagious viral infection that attacks primarily your throat and lungs. What actually happens in your body when you contract the coronavirus? What exactly causes your body to develop pneumonia? And how would a vaccine work? The coronavirus must infect living cells in order to reproduce. Let's have a closer look. Inside the virus, genetic material contains the information to make more copies of itself. A protein shell provides a hard protective enclosure for the genetic material as the virus travels between the people it infects. An outer envelope allows the virus to infect cells by merging with the cell's outer membrane. Projecting from the envelope are spikes of protein molecules. Both a typical influenza virus and the new coronavirus use their spikes like a key to get inside a cell in your body, where it takes over the cell's internal machinery, repurposing it to build the components of new viruses. When an infected person talks, coughs, or sneezes, droplets carrying the virus may land in your mouth or nose and then move into your lungs. Once inside your body, the virus comes in contact with cells in your throat, nose, or lungs. One spike on the virus inserts into a receptor molecule on your healthy cell membrane like a key in a lock. This action allows the virus to get inside your cell. A typical flu virus would travel inside a sac made from your cell membrane to your cell's nucleus that houses all its genetic material. The coronavirus, on the other hand, doesn't need to enter the host cell nucleus. It can directly access parts of the host cell called ribosomes. Ribosomes use genetic information from the virus to make viral proteins, such as the spikes on the virus's surface. A packaging structure in your cell then carries the spikes in vesicles, which merge with your cell's outer layer, the cell membrane. All the parts needed to create a new virus gather just beneath your cell's membrane. Then, a new virus begins to bud off from the cell's membrane. Now, with the virus spreading in your body, how can you develop pneumonia symptoms? For this, we'll have to look into your lungs. Each lung has separate sections called lobes. Normally, as you breathe, air moves freely through your trachea or windpipe, then through large tubes called bronchi, through smaller tubes called bronchioles, and finally into tiny sacs called alveoli. Your airways and alveoli are flexible and springy. When you breathe in, each air sac inflates like a small balloon. And when you exhale, the sacs deflate. Small blood vessels called capillaries surround your alveoli. Oxygen from the air you breathe passes into your capillaries, and then carbon dioxide from your body passes out of your capillaries into your alveoli so that your lungs can get rid of it when you exhale. Your airways catch most germs in the mucus that lines your trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. In a healthy body, hair-like cilia lining the tubes constantly push the mucus and germs out of your airways, where you might expel them by coughing. Normally, cells of your immune system attack viruses and germs that make it past your mucus and cilia and enter your alveoli. However, the inflammation can cause your alveoli to fill with fluid, making it difficult for your body to get the oxygen it needs. You could develop lobar pneumonia, where one lobe of your lungs is affected, or you could have bronchopneumonia that affects many areas of both lungs. Pneumonia may cause difficulty breathing, chest pain, coughing, fever and chills, confusion, headache, muscle pain, and fatigue. It can also lead to more serious complications. Respiratory failure occurs when your breathing becomes so difficult that you need a machine called a ventilator to help you breathe. These are the machines that save lives and that medical device companies currently ramp up production for. Whether you would develop these symptoms depends on a lot of factors, such as your age and whether you already have an existing condition. While this all sounds scary, the push to develop a coronavirus vaccine is moving at high speed. Studies of other coronaviruses led most researchers to assume that people who have recovered from a SARS-CoV-2 infection could be protected from reinfection for a period of time. But that assumption needs to be backed by empirical evidence, and some studies suggest otherwise. There are several different approaches for a potential vaccine against the coronavirus. The basic idea is that you would get a shot that contains faint versions of the virus. The vaccine would expose your body to a version of the virus that is too weak to cause infection, but just strong enough to stimulate an immune response. Within a few weeks, cells in your immune system would make markers, antibodies, which would be specific for only the coronavirus, or specifically its spike protein. Antibodies then attach to the virus and prevent it from attaching to your cells. Your immune system then responds to signals from the antibodies by consuming and destroying the clumps of viruses. If you then catch the real virus at a later stage, your body would recognize it and destroy it. In other words, your immune system is now primed. Collecting evidence on whether this will be possible, safe, and effective is part of what's taking researchers so long to develop a vaccine. It's a race against time to develop a vaccine amid a pandemic. Each step in vaccine development usually takes months, if not years. An Ebola vaccine broke records by being ready in 5 years. The hope here is to develop one for the new coronavirus in a record-breaking 12 to 18 months. While all this will take time, stay home if you can, to protect the most vulnerable. And don't forget to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds and as often as possible. This video was a collaboration between Nucleus
Yes, we
Medical Media.
can go back to the slides. Can go to the next slide. Just slideshow. So hope that particular video must have summarized till now what are we have seen, how the virus entered, and then what are the strategies, because this is the old video. Now we have a lot of strategies for making the vaccines. So I'll touch only the outline of that. So the next thing is like the transmission. So now the buzzword is social distancing. Just I'm going to explain is what is the science behind social distancing with help of aerodynamics of the sneezing. So you can clearly see that when a person is in the crowd, okay, when we are in the crowd, just maybe like we may think that we are healthy, I am not infected. We don't know, there may be a asymptomatic person who is standing in the crowd, right? So in such cases, if anyone sneezes, okay, yeah, aerodynamic research says that a sneezing can go it can travel up to 2 meters. You just press one next thing. A sneezing can produce almost 40,000 droplets. 40,000 droplets. and then the size will be always in the micron, that is 0.5 to 12 micron. They can travel at the speed of 100 meter per second. Just if anybody sneezes, before you realize, there may be a droplets which is sitting on you. Okay, and then when you cough, the 3000 droplets. Even when you talk, you are producing 3000 droplets for 5 minutes. I think nobody is talking less than 5 minutes. Mostly people will talk for a longer time. We are producing 3000 droplets. Just imagine if we are harboring any virus. Those viruses can be packed in those droplets. It can transmit. Next slide, please. So when you sneeze, two scenarios can happen. Two scenarios. So the sneezed droplet, one press, can go and fall on the non-living thing. It can be a chair or it can be any object. Just one press. Next slide. Droplet, and then or else it can be presenting on the atmosphere, the floating. So for example, this droplet which contaminated with the virus, they can stay there for a longer time, and then when you go there, the smallest droplet which is there hanging in the atmosphere can be inhaled by the person who is going to the place. Or else if it is going to be there on the non-living object, if you touch, and then when you touch and then keep it in your mouth or nose, it can enter. The chance of entering into the body is very, very high, even if you are not having any personal contact, right? So if you see that how long this virus can present, how long this virus can present in your uh, atmosphere, or is there is any way the temperature plays a major role. So when you sneeze, if that virus is having, if the droplet is having a virus, if it is around like 60 degrees Fahrenheit, it can stay for 4 hours. If it is 77 degrees Fahrenheit, it is around like, we can say like 30, and then it can stay there for like 2 to 3 minutes. If it is going to be in the droplet form, if it is more than 77 degrees Fahrenheit, it can stay there for 24 hours. So if it is there in your nasal mucus, if it is even at the temperature of 132 degrees Fahrenheit, it can stay there for 30 minutes. If somebody spits or if any nasal mucus goes to the environment, it can, that is what the sneezing can do. If it is there in the liquid, if it is going to be staying in the liquid, it will be there for 15 minutes, even at 167 degrees Fahrenheit. And then if you are going to, any droplet or any virus is going to be present in your hand, if it is 68 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, it can stay there for more than 5 minutes. If it is not if it is going to be there on your fabric, even if it at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, it is going to stay there for more than 8 hours. This, all of them are, they have studied it. What is the survival of this COVID-19 or different condition? And then if it stays there on the wood, it will be there for 48 hours. So even at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, the stainless steel, any utensils, so it can be there for 24 hours, even at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So only thing is, Fahrenheit, if you are mopping or if you are cleaning with 75% alcohol, less than 5 minutes it will die. If you are using any bleach, then also it will be killed within 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. I'm not seeing the slides. Somebody can help me with the slides. Just I'm waiting for the slides to come on the picture. Okay, let it come. Okay, let it come, and then so just we'll talk. So this the next point I want to emphasize here, the entry of COVID-19. So as I told you, they need a spike protein, right? The virus is having a spike protein. That spike protein is involved in attaching. It will go on attached to a receptor called ACE2 receptor. So the ACE2 receptor is very, very important for entering of this particular virus into any cell. So apart from that, there is another protein also required, which assists this virus to enter into this particular cell. That is called type 2 transmembrane proteases. In short form, we will call it as TMPRSS2. This TMPRSS2, what will happen now? So till now, what is the actual function is not known, but people believe that it is all involved in the scavenging activity, this particular protein which is present on the cell membrane. Okay, so this ACE2 and then TMPRSS2, both of them are required for any cell to enter into the any virus to enter into the cell. If only ACE2 is there, then the virus cannot enter. That is the only good thing what I can think about. So what now? Why people say that? What is the importance of mask? This can be understood here. So as I told you, the only point the virus can enter is your eyes and then your nose and mouth. If you see that this ACE2 receptor is present across our body, you take any part, it is there. But actually, as I told you, there is another protein also required, which is called TMPRSS2. So if only these two receptors are co-expressed, then only the virus can enter into the cell. So these two receptors are co-expressed only in the nose and then eyes. So even if somebody, the virus enters your mouth, it cannot bind your cell. But if it enters your nose, it can easily enter because the nose expresses both your receptors, that is your ACE2 as well as TMPRSS2, both of them are entered. I'm waiting for the slides. I'm not able to see the slide on the screen. Yeah, next slide. I think I have gone 3 slides back, 3 slides front. Slide mode, and then we can go to just fast forward. Yeah, this slide. Yeah, so in this slide you can clearly see that your TMPRSS receptor as well as ACE2 receptor, both. So both of them has to be co-expressed, then only the virus can enter into the cell. Next slide, please. So this slide will tell you, this is from the recent research. This is published in the month, I think it is the month of May. So it clearly says that this ACE2 receptor and then TMPR receptors are expressed only in the nasal activity and then your intestine and then lungs. But we don't want to worry about the lungs or intestine, because once we protect the entry itself, it can enter only through our nose. So even though it is expressed in the eyes, we don't want to worry, because the eyes we have a protease enzyme that will take care, but the nose is not having any such enzyme. So once we cover our nose, we are protected. So next slide. So here, let us take a scenario here. So let us take that one person is asymptomatic. is a carrier, we are going to call. Let us see that because he is not wearing any mask, but you are healthy, you are wearing mask. The risk is 70% that you can get infected. Why na? He may talk or she may talk, he may sneeze or he may cough. That will be there in the environment. It can fall on your eyes or it can your chin or hand. So even after coming home without washing, we can enter. The chance of uh, transmission is 70%. Next slide. But just same case, if the asymptomatic carrier is masked, but you are not having any mask, then the chance of transmission is only 5%. Okay, next slide. So now just imagine whether you are asymptomatic, healthy, or anything, if you are properly masked, your chance of transmission is only 1.5%. Now you know, and now you can understand the importance of mask. Okay, so now they are talking about airborne, all those things, but from the science point of view, even if the virus is there, it can enter only through my nose, mouth, and then ear and then eyes. But for the binding, I need two proteins to be co-expressed. The co-expressed proteins are present only in my nose and then eyes. Eyes is having tears, it will take care. If I cover my nose, I am protected. So this is just, I want to explain the importance of the mask with the science behind it. Why? Because I want you guys to tell the science behind to all the people who are not wearing mask and then improperly wearing the mask and going out. When they go out, this slide clearly says that it is not only they are under risk, even we are also under risk. So it is our duty to emphasize each and every one to wear the clean mask properly. Very important. Next slide, please. Okay, so let us come back again to the immune system. As I told you, this COVID-19 is a smart virus, so that it can go and block the sensor protein. So it will not allow the interferon itself to go and activate. Okay, by chance, if you are activated, and then also it is not only blocking the sensor protein, it completely blocks your MHC activity. You know that multi a major histocompatibility activity of the T cell and then B cell for presenting the antigen, especially the T cell. So it is completely blocked. So the virus will never get killed. So it also hacks your apoptosis. The cell will not be killed. And then also it blocks all your cell signaling. And then also it blocks your host restriction factor. So if you see that these four factors are very important for any immune system to act against antigen. So this COVID-19 blocks your complete, it hijacks your immune system. It is no use. So that is how the virus can survive inside the host. Next slide. So the only thing, if you see that now the entire world is behind the vaccine, hope the good thing will happen very fast, especially like we are expecting very soon, anytime. So everyone is waiting for the vaccine. So as a science person, so we are thinking that till that we need to be healthy, right? So to get the vaccine, definitely nobody is working against the medicine. Everyone is behind the vaccine because the prevention. Till that time, how we can keep ourselves healthy. So for that, I'm bringing a word called personalized nutrition, because I'm not going to say that you consume this, you'll be healthy, because the nutrition factor for the child is different, for middle-aged people is different, that for 40 to 50 is different, and then 50 to 70 is different, and then 70 to 80 is different. So each and every person has to have their own personalized nutrition as a first line of defense against many of these chronic conditions. Very, very important. Okay, so the next slide, please. So to support that activity, this is the paper, which is a very excellent paper, which I like it. It is ACS Omega. They have done only the computer analysis. So this is the paper which is published in the month of 2000, in the year 2020. It is in the May. So what they have done, they have analyzed the garlic paper. Those who find time, go through this paper. It is interesting inside, you guys can get it. So the next slide, when they take the garlic oil, they have done your GCMS. So there are around like 18 compounds they have identified. So among this 18 compound, the major, the 50% of the essential, the garlic oil consists of allyl disulfide and then allyl trisulfide. So what it does now, what they have by now, they have a large affinity towards your ACE2 receptor, right? So hope you remember your ACE2 receptor is the receptor which is involved in the entry of the virus. This allyl disulfide and then allyl trisulfide, what this they do now, they go and bind to the ACE2 receptor so that it is not allowing the virus to enter into your or bind to the receptor. So this is what they have found. So it is having a very good antioxidant property. So next slide, please. So they can go and inhibit or kill the virus by binding to the receptor. This is what the conclusion of the paper. So you can see that so many people, so many pharma people are working on this particular. It can be a nasal spray. So can I make a can I use this garlic essential oil for any purpose? So that is what entire work. So you guys can explore it. Next slide, please. So apart from this, so it is based upon the thing, based upon the literature survey. So if you take a compound called caverol, so they are known to be very effective against respiratory virus. So it is present in your herb called organo. This organo essential oil is also available. So those who are interested, it can be like vapors can be used, or even it can be used in your food. The next thing is quercetin. Everybody knows is a very good antioxidant. We know as only as antioxidant, but lot of literature says that it can kill virus, including coronavirus. So which are very rich in leafy vegetables, broccoli, apple, grapes, green tea, red wine, and then vitamin A. So we know that they are very important in regulating your immune system. So which is present in your beef liver and then cod liver, basically in the liver, as well as species and then spinach, broccoli, carrots, potatoes, and then curcumin. So which is the most magic molecule that is present in your turmeric. So as I told you, when any virus comes, first thing is the cytokine will come and attack the part. So when the cytokine waves comes, even it can create a clot. That is what I told. So the cytokine wave can be controlled by this curcumin. So we have a tradition that turmeric milk, right? So it's a very old technique. So that can be a good one for everyone to protect ourselves. The next thing is vitamin C. So lemon is the cheapest source, and then moreover it is our part of our diet, right? So it is also very rich in guava, kiwi, and then bell peppers, broccoli, and then grapefruit, spinach, pineapple. And then what it can do now, the vitamin C is very good to increase your WBC. That is what I want to emphasize. I don't want to tell like a nutritionist, but actually it enhances the number of WBC when you consume more of vitamin C. Next slide. So the next one is your vitamin D. This is another big question because vitamin D, we need a sunlight. So nobody is going out right now. So definitely there will be insufficient amount of vitamin D available in our body. And then you know that they have the capacity, the vitamin D, to decrease the risk of acute respiratory tract infection. The next vitamin is vitamin E. So it is the most efficient antioxidant. People will know about it, and then they are very important role plays in protecting your lungs and then liver. So which is very rich in almost all the nuts and then all the leafy vegetables, and then broccoli, spinach, and then shrimp, olive oil, and then vitamin B. This also helps in increasing the number of white blood cells, which are very rich in chicken, fish, milk, and cereals. The next one is your folate. Very important because this is very rich in spinach. Okay, This is the one which will increase your T cells and B cells. Very, very important nutrient. So it is present in your citrus fruit, leafy vegetable, breads. And the next slide, please. The next we are going to the minerals, selenium, potassium, zinc. You can see that basically they are antioxidant because selenium, it's a very trace metals we require. And then the selenium, even the day before yesterday, there was a huge article on keto diet, because keto diet will not give you much of your selenium or excess of selenium. The study was going on, you can go through that, guys. And then the potassium, so you guys can understand that become hypo uh, uh, alemic due to excessive potassium loss. Okay, so because of that, it is not good for our body. And then the zinc, it is also has a very good effect on your respiratory tract infection, protecting them. So you can see that all of them are there present in your vegetables, fruits, and nuts in generalized. The next slide, please, guys. The next one is the protein. The protein like taurine, carcinoin, and then anisine, and then creatinine. This all of them are very, very critical to maintain your immune system. This particular proteins are completely absent in plant source. It is present only in your animal source. That is the very important point you want to take. The next thing is your lauric acid. So the lauric acid, which is present in your coconut oil, that what it does now, it imparts your viral replication, and then it breaks down your viral lipid envelope of your virus. Very, very important. These are the small every day we are using, but actually only thing what we want to do is continuously using. It can be the coconut oil can be applied on the skin when you want to go out. So that will be a very good antiviral, right? So even if it attached on your body, in your hand or whatever it may be, so it can, the chances, we don't know like when the virus is going to come, where the virus is going to come, how we are going. So it is all of them are protective measures. So even though I have given a big exhaustive list, but actually the nutshell is vitamins and minerals, one word. So vitamins and minerals should be loaded. This is what everybody says that, but actually if you see that the practical difficulty. Next slide. This is our staple food, right? Rice and dal. So I am not taking any other thing. Rice and dal will be part of our lunch, right? So even it can be your morning breakfast or evening. So it will be derived from that. It can be derived something from your rice, something based on your dal. So it takes care of your carbohydrate and then protein part, right? So if you want to have all the vitamins and then all the minerals. So, but one thing what I can say here is, I cannot have only vitamin C today, tomorrow vitamin A, vitamin B, because you see that all of them are present in particular product in a rich amount, right? That is a one more thing. So actually another thing here I want to tell you is bioavailability, right? Bioavailability. If the spinach is having everything, it is very cheap. If I take a one bunch, which is 10 rupees, very good, because economics is very important right now to maintain the family. If you take a bunch, if you clean, you can get it around like 50 grams or 75 grams, you may get it. So when you make a dal, one person will get maybe like 15 grams, you will get it, right? So in that 15 grams, do you think that our required vitamins or folic acid will be available to us? And then the same spinach will come only the next week, because as a pharmacy people we know that the critical dose is very important, right? So I cannot say that, oh my god, so I have had everything but still I'm getting the problem, right? So that is the issue. So now if you take slide thing, and then the veg diet, you want to be loaded with full of fruits and vegetables. So that is the biggest issue anyone can have. But here on another source which I have read a lot and then I came across is egg. So I don't know, like our Indian tradition, we are not known much about the eggs. Eggs are loaded with all the minerals. Can I have the slideshow? a lot of vitamins and essential minerals, especially for this COVID time. Okay, so if you have this, you can have a next slide, please. So if you see that eggs, this particular slide will tell you all the nutrients because I don't want to go in detail. So it will tell you complete picture, complete picture. It has all the things. It has a calcium, selenium, copper, iron, magnesium, manganese, molybdenum, and then phosphorus, potassium, selenium, zinc. This is what we have seen in the nutshell. And then plus it has vitamin A, vitamin B, and vitamin C. Oh, sorry, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Just if you make any egg and then just have 2 drops of lemon, complete package. Okay, so because that is what the science literature says. Okay, so we have one egg. This is what my recommendation for a personal superfood, I'll call it as. When you have one egg plus have your routine, rice, dal, any fruits, vegetable. So whatever is required to keep your immune system healthy, you will get it from the eggs, and then the rest is an extra for us, right? So this is what actually I have learned. I'm recommending for so many people to have it. Just have a good egg, especially for our kids, and then more people. And then and then one more thing is the egg is 99.9 percentage. It is bioavailable. That is a good news about the eggs. Next slide. So with this all, so what I want to conclude is whenever is possible, wash your hands with your soap. Use mask properly. Very important. It is not only showing your nose or showing your mouth. Mask not on the chin. Properly. You know the science behind it. The social distancing, because when you sneeze, it can travel up to 2 meters at 100 meters per second. So it is not only 2 meters more the away. It is good. Even if you sneeze, we cannot control sneezing or coughing. Your friend or family member don't know they have a virus. We cannot blame anyone. And the next thing is consume balanced nutrition. And then there is no any magic formula till now. Right now we have. So regularly, happily, even though we have a lot of time at home, exercise, go to bed on time, sleep for 8 hours, not in the till long time, and then actually like keep yourself bodily healthy as well as mentally healthy. Okay, so this is what I want to conclude. Next slide. Any questions? I can take it. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a very, we can say, an amazing session, sir. You have cleared out many about misconceptions there regarding COVID, how the COVID will transmit, and how what is the importance of nutrition and how it is going on. So many things we have cleared out. So we have some questions from the YouTube chat box, sir. I will try to project in the screen.
Okay.
Just try to answer. Thank you, sir. So can you able to see the question, sir?
Can you read it because it's very small?
Yes, sir, I can. It is a question from Vailavanya ma'am. The question was, what may the reason behind not handing over the dead bodies of COVID affected persons to the relatives?
See, actually, there is also a lot of misconception is there. So actually,
Yes.
like only thing is we have a misconception that the virus may spread. That is the only reason. But actually, if you see that any person dead, the bacteria will start colonizing, and then you can see that all the cells will start bursting, and then the body fluid can come out. Okay, so if you are not properly handling, the persons may get. Okay, so that is the thing. But actually, even though the government and then the health societies have told that there is no chance for any transmission, but still there is a big question mark is there. That is the reason, and then properly it has to be buried. That is the reason why it is not handing on, because if the body fluids, if it contain, because you know that when the dead body happen, the cells will start bursting.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
the body fluids may have some contamination, so that is the reason maybe.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
But
sir. One
nowadays
more
they are
question.
giving it. Yes.
I think, sir. Yeah. So a question from Lavanya ma'am. So when
Mhm.
vitamin D deficiency known to cause COVID-19 very seriously, how far
Mm.
vitamin C as a potential antioxidant will fight against COVID-19?
Yeah, that is what I told. It is not one vitamin will do magic. It is all the vitamins, and then plus minerals, because the minerals are the cofactors for any enzyme to act. So all of them require in a right concentration. So actually, if you see that only vitamin C cannot help you, because that is a known one. Actually, this is what actually the science says that. So actually, like right now, we say that I cannot say that go and vitamin D is required. So go, and the only way we can take vitamin D is sunlight. Even we can take all the pro type we can take. It has to be converted into active only when you go out to the sunlight, because there are a lot of vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D tablets are there. Even they to convert into active, we need sunlight. So that we have to take care. So all of them are required. I'll not say only vitamin C can do the job. All the vitamins are important.
Yes, sir. One more question, sir.
Mhm.
Yeah. So from question from Suryanarayana Murthy. What is the
Mhm.
veterinarian's balanced food? This is from for only veg food.
Only vegetarian food. Sir, actually, for vegetarians, actually, balanced combination of all the fruits and vegetables. That is the reason I have listed for each and every vegetable, which contains rich in each and every vitamins and minerals and nuts. So they have to be very balanced. It is very tough, I know that. So that is the only way we can do it, but it has to be taken constantly every day. Every day we want to take it. So that is the only option right now we have.
Sir. And one more question, sir, from Praveen Kumar. Plasma
Mhm.
therapy or immunoglobulin therapy, which one is better way of treatment?
See, plasma therapy is, see, we know that right now the virus producing, see, the antibody that is produced against the virus in my body is completely different. The same virus enters your body, because we know that the cell surface is taken from your body. Okay, so the surface coat is completely different from each and every virus from the different source. So now the vaccine strategy is combination of different surface protein and then spike protein. That is how they are producing. So they are trying to get a very conserved sequence, conserved region of the surface. So based on that only they are taking. So now the plasma therapy is only the immunoglobulin, because I don't know, because I am infected, my plasma will contain my immunotherapy. That will be in the diluted form. When you go for immunotherapy, it is a concentrated form. So it's a very targeted. So actually, like right now, plasma therapy is available. That is the best. When the definitely we will be going for immunotherapy just like a cancer. So when we are producing against a particular target, immunotherapy is also that is the best targeted.
Yes, sir. One more question, sir, from Shamanta. How
Mhm.
does the microRNA found especially in the Indian people offer resistance against the COVID-19? I think, yes, sir.
See, actually, this microRNA, this only a study, just one option they have said it. So we are having some RNA, but not much information is available. Not everyone is digging more into it. So even there was a study saying that even our ancient population are little bit uh, resistant to, and then even the blood group is resistant to, so many things come. So this microRNA, so maybe it can go and stop the mechanism. What they initially discussed is it can go and bind to the viral RNA that comes inside the cell. It can stop the replication, but not much information is available on that. So only when the more research happens, then only we can comment on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One more question from Sirisha. It's like is there important preventive method is wearing mask, but what about the people who are having the breathing problem and who cannot wear mask for a longer period of time, but they need to go for a work means what is the any alternative
See, actually,
like?
that's a good question because the practical question also, even when you wear a mask, we cannot walk for a very fast because even when I go to the lab from one place to other place, if I walk, the mask will be attaching your nose. It is very difficult
Yes, sir.
to breathe, and then the pressure by the, and then even some people will get the lungs pain. It is paining. So the only thing is, only for the required thing we can go out. So that is because even the N95 doesn't work, because that is also the people are saying N95, and then the mask with the valve or mask with the filter, and then there are so many questions, so many things, so many theories, hypotheses. Day by day it comes, and then even the ordinary double layer or triple layer mask if you put, definitely there is a huge amount of lung pain is there. So this is the question actually, like the only thing is that person has to stay inside. That is the only way we can find, because there is no any replacement for mask also. There is no any, till now there is no any recommendation or any research says that this mask is the best one.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. One question, sir. Sorry, sir. This not this one. This one. From Monica Sai, why we should drink warm water? What is the need of warm water in precautionary measure, like a precautionary measure?
See, drinking warm water is our tradition, because especially with the cold. So if you see that the influenza virus, you will get a
Yes,
sore throat, and then the phlegm will be forming. You can feel the phlegm formation in the upper chest. So that time, what they say, na, to make you feel better, people will drink warm water so that it can pass through, and then you can feel some betterness. But actually, with respect to COVID, the COVID goes and infect your the bottommost of your lungs. So in the COVID, with respect to COVID, I don't think so. And then even one more misconception is there: goggle with warm water, it will die. So although it virus will die, first question is, when will I know that I got a virus? I cannot keep on doing every time warm water, and then that is also not good, because it may damage your mucus layer. So that may prone you, that can expose your cells. So because that is not our tradition also, no doctors also recommend every day. Only when you get any symptom, that time they'll ask you to gargle with the salt water. That too only when you get a symptom. Not every day, we cannot do that. That is what my personal feeling is.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And one more question, sir, from Prashanti. Very recently, they have found that the virus is leaving lung scats. Will everyone get these scats? Will this affect the functioning of lungs furthermore?
Definitely, this is a good question. Actually, like the lung scar is nothing but, as I told you, when the virus goes and infect the lungs, it damages your capillary, so it hampers your gaseous exchange. That time, in return, our body is responding with a cytokine influx. So that creates a clot. That clot, we are calling it as scar. So that is going to be there. So even if you see that till now, I don't know like how many of you guys are following. I am following, because last week also there was a news. Even the person who are recovered from SARS, they are coming back with lung problem, and then they're having lot of intestinal problems. So those who are infected with COVID, yes, if any person is infected with COVID, definitely they'll have a scar if they're very serious. So the scar is 100% depend upon the degree of infection. It is going to be serious or very small, and then you know that it cannot be recovered also. If any person with SARS, definitely they will have this particular scar.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. One more question, sir. O positive blood group can't affect COVID. Is it true?
No, it is not true.
Discuss. Yes, sir.
Nothing to do with your RBC.
Yes, sir. One more question, sir. Why can't you use hydrogen peroxide solution in case of sanitizer solution? Like they have thinking like a hypochlorite solution in place
Hypochlorite,
of,
see, actually,
yeah. Yes, sir.
so we can use this thing actually like hydrogen peroxide. See, actually, hydrogen peroxide we are using because that is a normal one which people use for cleaning the wound. So you can see that it is available. It is a OTC product. It will be solution. You will get all the effervescence will come out. But actually, when you see that the sanitizer contains nothing but is an alcohol. So alcohol can dissolve the surface of your lipid coat. Actually, the alcohol can dissolve the lipids so that the virus will be dead. That is the main concept. Nothing to do with our sanitizer and hydrogen peroxide. And then moreover, when you compare to the hydrogen peroxide and then your hand sanitizer, there is a alcohol, it is safety. So only thing alcohol can do is only the dryness, but hydrogen peroxide is not good. It can damage your cells. So actually, if you see that in the wound, if you throw this and then it will rupture all your cells and then it will remove one layer of your wound layer. So then only they'll put some any ointment. So that is the reason it is not actually safe as your alcohol. The
Yes,
safety
sir.
issue, that is the only thing. But
Yes, sir. Thank
hypochlorite in the non-living thing surface, they are doing it. So in the surface, nobody cares about the flow, so they'll kill it. But not on the, definitely our regulation will not allow to use hydrogen peroxide on the for hand sanitizing.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It's an amazing session where we have gone today. It was very clearly you have mentioned how the transmission and what is the importance of nutritional facts, and you have cleared so many misconceptions and many doubts for the delegates. I'm very privileged to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for your support. And now I am handling session to the Mr. Pranabesh Sikdar for the vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Thank you, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir.
Okay. So it was a very informative and wonderful talk. So many things we have learned from here. But I attended different webinars. They were talking about the problems which is caused due to the COVID-19 in the society. For example, in academics, economically crisis, how to conduct different exams, or different ways the problems were discussed. So I feel this webinar was somewhat different, where I heard the etiology, how the virus attacks, and why we are wearing the mask today. To be frank, I feel this is the first time I heard the reason why we should wear the mask. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So myself, Pranabesh Sikdar, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, take this opportunity to deliver the vote of thanks. Respected principal, sir, speakers, and my dear colleagues, and the registered participants. So it was an informative and wonderful talk. So at the onset, I'd like to thank the resource person, Dr. Prabakaran Ravichandran, for giving his valuable time from his busy schedule and discussed on today's topic, signs of COVID-19 and changing the nutritional dynamics. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable suggestions. We'll take it as suggestions only. Thank you very much, sir. I also like to thank our principal, sir, Dr. N. Niranjan Babu, sir, and the correspondent, madam, Mrs. Sumulata, madam, for supporting the department to conduct such a beautiful webinar on this topic today. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. I would like to thank Dr. Uma Maheshwar, sir, Director, Research and Academics of Seven Hills College of Pharmacy,
for participating and suggesting us to conduct this webinar in such a beautiful form. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank Mr. G. Satish, sir, and Mrs. D. Lavanya, madam, as well as Dr. Sunil Kumar and other teaching staffs to support the webinar and help during the conductance of this webinar. Thank you, all of you. Last but not the least, I'd extend my heartfelt thanks to all the registered participants for accepting the invitation and showing their presence in the webinar. So really I enjoyed the webinar. So from the behalf of Seven Hills College of Pharmacy, I want to thank each and every person who are actively and passively present in this webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all. Over to Lavanya, madam.
Thank you, sir. Sir, is it audible, sir?
Yeah, it's audible.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session and interesting facts about COVID-19. You have given a clear-cut view of coronavirus. That was very interesting, sir. Actually, so many questions are still there, posting so many questions, so many doubts are there. You have given a very good answers for all these things. You have clarified very much. Um, it's very wonderful session, and we are glad to be with you, sir. Thank you for sharing your views and out views of coronavirus. And I'd like to thank the management organization on behalf of the institution. We would all thank you for spending your valuable time with us and giving a clear-cut view about this pandemic situation and pandemic virus. Thanks a lot, sir. And thank you all the delegates. Thank you all the delegates also. So please, can you give your valuable feedback on this session and your views about this session, sir? Prabhakaran, sir, please.
Yes, actually, uh, I have given so many webinars, but actually it was the involvement from the organizing side. It may be you or Satish or it may be Sunil. And then yesterday I was very much pleased to see even the principal. They are taking their time and then checking all the background thing, and then it is not like that you come and then talk. It is like taking care of each and every time, and then even Sunil as well as Sadish came evening. They have checked one more. Even you came, and then one more time you have checked. Even I forgot the other person. So it was wonderful, and then it was very smooth, and then excellent organizing. That is what I can say. So it may be from the communication or everything. It was amazing.
Thank you so much, sir. And coming up to the winding up session, I'd like all the participants and all the delegates, your presence means a lot to us, and we hope we have a good host equally. My heartfelt thanks to all the team members and my faculty members, Dr. Sunil sir and Mr. Mallikarjun sir and all the other faculty members who strived hard for this successful event. And we can see their support, and in fact what you witnessed was really their efforts and hard work, sir. I'd like to thank each and everyone, those who involved directly or indirectly for the successful completion of this webinar. And regarding the feedback link, we are posting the feedback link in the session in the chat box, and that will be active till today 5 p.m. So those who are submitting the feedback form will get your e-certificates within 10 days. And thank you for being with us. Thank you for joining with us, and have a pleasant day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.